On the hunt for comfortable, timeless Western boots? You already know the best place to shop for quality boots is at your local Tacova store. So stop by Tacova's Nashville, at the Mall at Green Hills, or on Broadway by Ryman Auditorium. That's right, you now have 2 locations to choose from. Grab a cold one as you shop and get fitted by a pro. Tacova's Nashville is at your service, and you can find your perfectly fitted dream boots with the help of their expert staff. Everyone will be asking where you got your sick new boots, but I won't be asking because I know they must be Tacova's. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Nashville, we are getting cute because it's National Kitten Day. Have you ever found a scraggly kitten under your porch or befriended a neighborhood cat with questionable ownership? We're here with Director of Nashville Cat Rescue, Eva McAllister, to talk all things kitten. CityCast Nashville is presented by our exclusive launch sponsor, Tacova's. It's July 10th, I'm Grace Fuse, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Hey Eva, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm so good, and I'm so excited to talk about kittens because this is the cutest episode we've done so far.
I can talk about cats and kittens all day.
Perfect. So what does your role as Director of Nashville Cat Rescue involve? What are you actually doing day to day?
A lot of everything. So I deal with all of the intake emails when somebody finds a cat or kitten that they don't know what to do with. They reach out to me and I get back to them. I deal with all the fosters, any foster questions, bringing on new fosters, onboarding them, and transports. I am running cats around all over town, just about every day. It's a fun job.
Why would you transport? Is that just because that you don't have room for a cat at a specific rescue, or?
So we don't have a physical shelter location, so we rely solely on foster homes. We've got a couple different partnering adoption centers around Nashville, so they go out to PetSmart, Pet Supplies Plus, different areas. So sometimes they get sick, they need a trip to the vet. Sometimes they've been there and they haven't been adopted, so they need a ride back to somewhere that they can hang out for a couple weeks. And then we also work with a couple shelters in Memphis. So about every other week we get 15 to 20 cats that we put out.
Oh my gosh.
So one of the board members and I check all of them in, and then we put them out to the stores.
What do you do if you can't find a foster?
We find a way. We always find a foster.
Yeah, so it's never happened that a cat was just without foster.
No. We'll make it happen one way or another.
It seems like there's a lot of very dedicated fosters out there, so that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would make room for a kitten if it was a kitten that needed a home, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're doing this for National Kitten Day, but I want to talk about kitten season. Can you tell us when kitten season is and like what the deal is with that?
Yes. So most commonly, it's going to be around springtime. March, April, you're going to start seeing an influx. This last year, because it was a warmer winter, I don't think kitten season ever went away. Mm-hmm. We had kittens year round. But now, especially, it's in full bloom. And we've got kittens coming out of our ears. There is no shortage of kittens right now.
Where do people find kittens?
All over, under their decks, under the side of the road. I recently, about a month and a half ago, and now they're ready for adoption.
Wait, you found kittens yourself? Like at your own house? Oh my God. They don't
Close
even
by.
know they lucked out.
I know. Well, it's one of our neighbors.
Yeah.
He posted in the neighborhood group, there's a litter of kittens in this ditch.
Cute.
What do I do? And I happened to see it, and I was like, bring them on in.
You have the perfect neighbor. Don't worry.
Exactly. We happen to have a mom that was ready for them. It was great. They're everywhere. Unfortunately, people dump them.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with them, or their own cats had kittens and they can't take care of them. That's just an unfortunate side of it, but we do see it.
When I was in college in Ohio, it was my a cappella group's the day we were deciding who got a call back. And so we're all sitting around. We're like, let's go get some snacks from Walmart. We drive to the Walmart. There's a kid like a little kid sitting outside of the Walmart with a box of kittens, and they're like, I need to get rid of these kittens right now because my mom is allergic and she won't let
Oh,
me bring them home. But
no.
like, I saw somebody trying to dump these kittens, like, please help. And I was not allowed to have a kitten in my dorm. But did I take a kitten? Yes. Did we then have
Of
the kitten
course.
there for the callback decisions? Yes. And eventually that kitten was, it turned out that like a friend of a friend was looking for a cat and she was like actually allowed to have a cat. And she adopted him. And I think I had named him Charlie because I didn't know if he was a boy or a girl. And I thought that was a nice unisex move.
Right.
But she wound up adopting this cat. Turns out he was a boy. She named him like Basil or something. And now he has the bougiest life a kitten could possibly have. Now he's a cat. But it's like I see him on Instagram and it's like the bougiest cat experience I can imagine. So
That's
happy for him.
adorable.
He was really
Yes.
scraggly when we found him. So what should somebody actually do when they find a kitten?
If you find a kitten, make sure you have a plan. That is probably the most important part. If you're going to save this kitten and take it on, have a plan for it. Don't just take it and be like, well, now I can't keep it. So now what?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Put it back out? Well, that's not great.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a plan. Make sure you can keep it for a week or two. Sometimes a lot of shelters are full right now. Like us, we rely on foster homes. So it depends on if fosters have room to take these cats. And unfortunately, we can't take it immediately. And neither can a lot of other shelters and rescues. So make sure you have a plan. If you find tiny baby kittens, you better really make sure you have a plan there because they need, if you're going to take baby kittens, you're going to be feeding them every 2 hours.
I had to wipe his little butt with a paper towel, like in that, the like stimulating the mom tongue,
Exactly.
like telling them to go potty or whatever. You have to like go, that's manual. You got to do that
They're not
manually.
going to do that on their own.
Yep, which is crazy.
So make sure you're ready to do that. It is crazy.
Yep.
Shout out to Hannah Shaw, the kitten lady. If you do find a neonatal kitten, she's got a video for absolutely everything. More than likely, mom is going to be around. And if they're tiny, it's best to leave them with mom for now until they're weaned. And then you can safely trap everybody, get mom fixed, get the kittens into a shelter. But just make sure you have a plan. Make sure you can take care of these cats.
You kind of sign yourself up to be the foster as soon as you find kittens. Like it's just, as the kids
Yes.
say, kitten distribution system.
They chose you. They found you. If you're going to take this cat on and save it.
Yeah. The universe has given you this cat and now you're the cat's foster.
Exactly.
So when we talk about having a plan, like what does that look like / what can I do if I just find a kitten and I don't have a plan and I'm not prepared for this? What do I immediately do?
If the cat is safe and uninjured, maybe find somebody that can take it. MAC is a good resource. Metro Animal Control Center. Again, a lot of places are full right now. They may not be able to take it, but they may be able to give you some resources that can. We have a lot of community cats around Nashville where they don't want to come inside and they might be feral and they don't want you to save them. If it's hot out, maybe make sure they've got some food and water.
Sure.
If it's cold, maybe make sure they've got a shelter. Shout out to Pet Community Center. They've got a great program for community cats. They will loan out traps, give you tips on how to get them in there and get them safely sterilized. Even if they can't come into a home, at least they're not continuing to reproduce. If the cat's in danger, do your best. Make your, use your good best judgment and find a safe space for it. Even if it's not you, maybe somebody reach out to me. I will find a way.
Yeah. So we can email the Nashville Cat Rescue or eva@nashvillecatrescue.org. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
yes.
cool. So we can hit you up and be like, hey, I found this kitten. Please help me.
Yes.
If I do have this kitten for like 2 weeks or whatever while I'm waiting for a foster to come pick it up and I want to keep the kitten, can I just keep the kitten or is there some kind of official adoption process that I have to go through in terms of like giving the kitten to you and then taking the kitten back?
If you want it to go through, we have foster fails all the time. Foster fails are great. I've got my 2 right now are foster fails. I decided I didn't want to let them go, and that's okay. You still go through the same adoption process that anybody else does through us. As long as they're getting vetted through us, we make sure that they've got They're up to date on their vaccines. They're fixed. They're ready to go. We've got people that do that all the time. You can go to our website, apply to be a foster. It's great if you want to be a long-term foster. We always need fosters. Short-term, long-term, whatever you can give is helpful. And if you want to keep that kitten after we've got it vetted, great.
Perfect. And so do you have any recommendations for where to go for vetting if you're just doing this kind of on your own? Is there anywhere like cheap?
Value Vet is great. They kind of work with what you can pay for. Or they've got great low cost options. I know they take care credit. Pet Community Center is another great resource for low cost spay, neuter, vaccinations. There might be a little bit of a wait list, but it's going to be a lot cheaper than just going to a regular vet.
And you mentioned that you could give the cat to a friend if you're not prepared to deal with it. If I don't have a friend who's ready for a cat, can I give the cat away on like Nextdoor or something? I sometimes see some discourse on there that people are like using cats for nefarious things.
Yes, I would be wary of just giving a cat away for free. If it's not somebody that you know and trust and know that this cat is going to be safe, again, use your best judgment, do your due diligence. I wouldn't give away cats for free if you can avoid it. A small rehoming fee usually kind of deters some of that.
Sure.
If you can, or find a trusted rescue.
If we have not successfully found a kitten, but we want to help and we want to foster, how do we get started with fostering?
You can go to our website, nashvillecatrescue.org, and there's a section that you can apply to be a foster. That email comes to me, so I will get you started. I'll ask you a few questions on how involved you want to be with fostering. We have you can just foster cats and kittens. Some people just want to do kittens. You can do moms and babies. We can do babies without moms. So that would involve bottle feeding.
Wiping their butt.
Wiping their butts, yeah. Which we need people like that. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people that have that time and dedication. We always need fosters for that. You can do sick breaks if a cat gets sick and they just need somewhere to hang out for 7 to 10 days while they're finishing up their medication. We always need that. Cage breaking is what we call it if they're at the store for a little bit and they haven't gotten adopted. They just need somewhere to hang out for 2 weeks. And that's a really great option if you don't have time to do the fostering start to finish. So a lot of these cats, they have had no vetting. So we need to make sure that they're old enough, first of all. They need to get several rounds of vaccines, dewormed, flea treatment, and fixed. That can take sometimes a month or two. If you only have a couple weeks to give us, that's perfect for cage breaking. These cats are already vetted. They're already ready for adoption, and they just need somewhere to hang out for a couple weeks.
Yeah, just need a friendly face, get them out of a cage. Who wants to be in a cage for 3 weeks? That's crazy pants.
Exactly.
So Eva, if we find an adult cat, how do we know if they're a house pet?
That's a good question. Post on social media, Facebook, Nextdoor, Skippy Lou, Nashville. That's a very popular. I know I'm in Donaldson. We've got...
That's a Facebook group, right?
Yes.
Skippy
Lou? Yep. That's a very, that covers, I think, pretty much all of Davidson County. I know Donaldson has a separate lost and found pets. You can take it to the vet, scan for a microchip. Microchips are great as long as they're updated with current owner information. You can get a hold of them very quickly. If you can't find anybody, then reach out to a rescue and see if we can get them in for adoption. There are a lot of strays in the area, and he might not be somebody's pet. He wants to be somebody's pet.
What does it mean when we see an adult cat that has like their ear clipped?
So a clipped ear is going to show that they have been trapped, they have been sterilized, and they have been released back into their community. That's where they want to be. They're usually back in their area. They know their territory, but they at least can't reproduce anymore.
Totally makes sense. And that is a responsible thing to do. I don't really have any neighborhood cats in my neighborhood, at least of note, but I know one of my best friends has, maybe I should not say this on the podcast, but she has a neighborhood cat that like comes by her house all the time because they feed her.
Yeah.
They call her scabies because she had scabies when they first found her. But they got, she got treated, and now she's just a relatively healthy looking stray cat that comes and stops by. She brings her boyfriend sometimes.
Just hanging out.
She's just hanging out. It's just her territory. She's just chilling. Do you have a favorite kitten that you've ever rescued? You can say 2 if you want to say your 2 foster fails.
It has to be my 2 babies. So they came from the shelter that we work with in Memphis. There was a litter of 5. They all had terrible, terrible eye infections when they were babies, and they're just so tiny that they couldn't fight it. Everybody lost at least one eye. My little Nova lost both. I know. So this was before I was a director. I was doing a lot more active fostering and volunteering with them. Said, yeah, sure, I'll take 3, expecting to have them for a couple weeks, and then they'll go out for adoption. This is in the height of kitten season. We just needed fosters to take vetted kittens, and we'll get them out eventually. The boy that I got, he got adopted out pretty quickly. And then I had my 2 girls, the totally blind one, and my Zosha has one good eye. So she helped the blind one around, so they became a bonded pair. I know. Nova would be crying. She'd get lost in the house, and Zosha would just come running for her. And we had him for a couple months. It's a little harder to adopt out a bonded pair like that, and especially special needs kittens. So I just wasn't getting a whole lot of interest in them. And a couple months goes by, and my husband is like, no, they're ours now. And the blind one had already learned the layout of the house. She got along with the dog. And it's like, well, I can't do that. Uproot everything she's known so far. So now they're ours.
No, absolutely. And the bonded pairs thing is really interesting to me too. I had a bonded pair that we made into a bonded. I mean, they were brother sister. But when we were considering adopting them when I was a kid, the foster brought them both. They're named Bug and Mina. Bug was named Bug because when he was a little baby, he was so skinny that his eyes were like bug eyes in his head. I know, it's a poor guy. And then he wound up to be the fattest cat ever because he was overcompensating. Yeah. But we met both of them, and my mom was like, "Which one do you want?" And I was like, "Both." And then we had this brother sister pair that was the cutest thing ever. Mina was very scrappy. Bug was very slow and fat and cuddly, which was awesome. That's adorable. Anyway, thank you so much for talking to us about kittens.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really appreciate it. This is really cute. We'll go think about cats for the rest of my day.
Perfect.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. Happy Kitten Day. Go pet a cat today to celebrate. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye!